going, everybody? Jeff, WaywardCityGames.com. Today I'm joined with Jesse.
How's it going? What's in store for us today?
Today we have my unique take on the Gaiomon deck. I think this deck is a lot of fun, and I'm excited for you guys to see what's in store. Let's get to it. All right, guys, let's start at the low end of our stack. We're going to start with our level 2s. We are playing Hopmon. So the reason why I am playing this Hopmon, besides the fact that I've been having way too much fun with Justimon lately, is the fact that this is a great way to boost my DP in an effortlessly way because I'm already playing so many black Tamers. Unfortunately, black does not have the greatest level 2s, so this is one that I felt has been really, really good for this deck. Let's get into our level 3s, shall we?
We shall.
Let's talk about a core level 3 for this deck. And it's such a fun one in my opinion. Tamermon. I'm playing 4 of. Tapir, all turns. Now that's very important for a couple reasons that we'll talk about here in a little bit. While this Digimon has 2 or more colors against plus 1000 DP. Such a great level 3 for the deck for many reasons. Next, 4 Monodramons.
Love that card.
Monodramon, real top 4 cards at all black Tamers. This deck really thrives on the fact that you can get those Maki Tamers into your hand as quickly as possible, start setting up your future combos, start searching your deck for the key pieces that you need.
Still trying to find a way to fit that into Diaboro. Need
It's
to get
going to be a
those
lot of fun
sonatas.
in that for sure. Next, I'm playing 3 Chumon. If you're playing a black deck and you're not playing Chumon,
What are you doing?
What are you doing, right? Like, you got to play. It's just a great level 3. It denies the memory. And let's move on to our next one.
I do feel like it kind of got the shaft because it's only 1K. All the other
It's only
colors
1K,
got bigger
of course.
boys.
Of course it did, right?
Yep.
Well, you know, maybe that'll be a future video, so stay tuned for that. Next, I'm playing 3 Bearmon.
Bearmon.
I love 2-cost level 3s in my decks. To me, I always love running a 2 or 3 of, and this deck just felt right playing a 3 of the 2-cost. And finally, do I have a chance to use a 2-cost level 3 that is not Haguru or Commandramon because I'm not concerned about cyborgs.
Right.
So finally had to take advantage of a Bearmon. Plus, I mean, look at the artwork. Great artwork.
I remember having so much fun with that in pre-release too.
Oh, pre-release was great when we got all those little 2-costs.
Yep.
Let's go into our level 4, shall we? Level 4s. Now, this is a card that I've been very excited to use. We're talking about 4 Deltamons. Now, first glance at this card, you might notice that 3-cost Evo, which is very expensive. But this sets you up great, right? Your turn, when this Digimon would digivolve into a card with 2 colors or composite, reduce the cost by 2. It really helps you set up into the next phase of the deck. And it has a great inheritable for this deck.
Right.
When attacking for each of this Digimon's colors, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3K or less.
So strong.
All of my 5s in this deck, spoiler alert, 2 colors. It means when a level 5 swings, I can delete 2 3Ks. Super powerful removal. Super great for this deck as a whole.
And where do those Deltamons come from?
They come from a promo pack that's included as a box topper into BT9?
I believe it was BT9.
BT9, yeah. So you might have a little difficulty getting your hands on them. There is a cheaper version for the non-foil. So if you were looking for a good alternative, that's a great point, Jesse. You do have the Cyclonemon.
Right.
So I am playing a 1 of Cyclonemon. If you can't get your hands on the Delta, I do think the deck needs the Delta. But if you can't, you can play 4 Cyclonemon instead.
Yep.
Currently, I'm only playing 1 of as of right now. It has a similar when attacking effect. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2K or less. So it's not horrible, but it's mostly in there just because it's the red-black dual color, which is really important to this deck, and we'll get into it here in a little bit. So next, another reason why Tamermon is so good in this deck is I'm playing 4 of the Monochromon blockers. So let's talk about that Tapir again, shall we? All turns, while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gains plus 1K.
That all turns is so strong.
That all turns makes that Monochromon an easy 7K blocker. And when we factor in our memory setter, our black tie, you're talking about an 8,000 DP with almost no effort, right? Blocker. Very, very important. Good.
Especially in this meta, because that takes you out of range of Flame Hellscythe, it takes you out of range of Maycrack, it takes you out of that
Absolutely.
6K kill you range. Yeah.
Absolutely. You really want to be out of that range. So, and we have 2 more level 4s for you guys today. We are talking about probably the best level 4 in the game, right?
It's my boy.
Grumblemon. We play so many Tamers, it would be foolish not to take advantage of the fact that we can grumble for game. Plus, it's the most satisfying sentence you can say to end a game, right?
Love it.
Grumble for games. So here's our level 4s. We are playing 11. I found that I don't need more than 11, and 11's been my happy number with this particular deck. You could argue 2 Cyclomons and maybe less than the Monocro, but I personally like to have the versatility with having those blockers ready when I need it. Let's get into level 5, shall we?
Let's do it.
So level 5s, this might be a unique take. We'll talk about the boring version first, right? And when I say boring, I mean just too good not to include.
Yeah, that card's broken.
4 Metal Greys.
Yep.
Absolutely broken. So our main level 6 in this deck is in fact this Gaiomon, right? So you really want to be able to delete your opponent's Digimon by swinging directly into it with this Metal Greymon. And this Metal Grey has such a good when Digivolving effect that it's just too good not to be used in this deck. Fun fact, you can reduce the costs of the Metal Grey with the Maki Tamer. You can also reduce the Digivolution cost with the Deltamon as well.
Right. Yep,
so that 4 cost
yep.
is a lot less. And
Yep.
you can do a lot more with less, right?
A lot of stuff.
So that Metal Grey may have been an obvious choice in this deck, but let's talk about a not so obvious choice.
And we're going to race to a playset of that alt art, right? When it comes out?
Absolutely we are. Stay tuned for that. 4 Master Tyranno for the next level 5.
Yeah, but that's got green on it.
It does have green on it. So unfortunately, this card cannot be searched by our Maki Tamer. That is the downside of this card. And when the new Volcanomon comes out in the Jesmon starter deck, or the Ragnalore starter deck, excuse me, I don't remember which one off the top of my head.
They're both out at the same time.
Both out at the same time. Doesn't matter, right, guys?
They're both red.
So it's going to be a red-black, so it's going to be searchable by the Maki. But as of right now, it plays a good role because the Deltamon can reduce the cost by 2 to Digivolve into the Master Tyranno.
Yep.
The reason why this Master Tyranno is so good, though, is because it gives security attack +1, not only inheritably, but on his own as well.
Yep.
So it's such early aggression that by the time you factor in the DP from the Hotmon, and you factor in the DP from the Tapirmon, you're talking about a 10k 2-check level 5. I love big body level 5s. It's always been one of my favorite ways to play. It's such good versatility. And another reason why that is so good is because that inheritable. When you finally Digivolve from the Gao into the Master Tyranno,
Yep.
and you Blitz with its ability, that's 3 checks from just these 2 cards.
Yep.
Such good aggression, so powerful. It's too good in this deck.
And if you do manage to get 2 Master Tyrannos out, how many swings are those going for?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just a fun way to play.
Just win
There's
the
so
game.
much versatility in this deck, and I love it. Now, I do play one more level 5, and now this is where everybody is going to be surprised, right? We're talking about a Dark Superstarmon.
Another color.
Another color. You know, the real purpose of the deck is just to get as many colors as possible. I'm just kidding, guys. There's an actual reason why this Dark Superstarmon is so good. This Dark Superstarmon is searchable by the Maki. This Dark Superstarmon is, in fact, a target of the reduction of the Deltamon.
Right.
So this can be a 0, it can be a 1 to evolve, it could be a 2 to evolve, depending on what combination of the Maki and the Delta you have out. And also a 9k body, 10k body, with or an 11k body with the Tapirmon as well. We're talking another big level 5 that just can swing when you just really need some aggression, whether you need to delete an opponent's Digimon, whether or not you just want an 11k to swing into security, or what's great is if you happen to have this in security, 9k deletes almost any level 5 and below.
That is true.
Very useful in security.
Another thing that you've mentioned before, and I think it's just such a good point, it's just in Digimon, it is so nice to have useful vanilla cards where you don't have to play a card that has 1,000 abilities. You just
don't.
Find a good card that fits the spot that you need.
Absolutely, that's a great point. Having a great vanilla, whether it be a 2-cost level 3 that you can just play to just pass turn and leave your opponent 1, or having a high 3,000 DP that deletes all of your opponent's level 2k or less DPs, or anything like that. Just vanillas are so good in this game, and I'm really glad to be a part of such a community where vanillas are good. It's a lot of fun. So now, if you really don't like the Dark Superstarmon, his shades are too pointy for you, next set, there is an ultimate, or excuse me, not an ultimate, a Brachiomon that is blue-black, the exact same 2 colors, 9k, Evo cost the same, or if you really just want to mix it up, you can totally play that. But for now, Dark Superstarmon's got too much swag not to play it.
Love it.
Let's talk about our 6s next.
You mean you run other ones than just the Gaio?
No, absolutely not.
That's what I
I only
thought.
run 4 level 6s in this deck. You might be surprised. Why wouldn't I run more? The reason why I don't run more than just the 4 level 6s is because my level 5s are so strong, and this is just so aggressive that by the time I finally am on this, I'm either controlling my opponent's board by deleting him with the Metal Gray, or I have such, you know, high security attack with the Master Tyranno where it doesn't matter. The game's almost done.
And so how much do you get to search in that for those Gaios?
That's a great question. And we'll talk about that a little bit more, but I am playing 4 Makis, so we can search for this.
Gotcha, okay.
Yep.
So that's going to be your main target.
My main target is the Gaiomon.
You always want to
depending
grab
on,
one. Got it.
Of course, you know, board state depends on it, right?
Yeah.
But this Gao is so great, right? The Blitz is so powerful. The Digivolve, so powerful,
Yeah.
right? With the way I built the stack, with the Tapirmon, with the Hotmon, right? We're talking 15k Gaiomons.
Yep.
Whether or not he's got 2 checks or whether or not he can delete an opponent's Digimon, that's a completely different situation. You can build... I've had games where I build 2 stacks, one with each of these. One's doing all of my aggression against the opponent, and one's controlling my opponent's board.
Yeah.
Or, you know, heaven forbid, I get 2 Metal Greys underneath these. Now I'm just killing everything the opponent plays, and they can't even play the game anymore.
Well, yeah, I just scoop at that point.
Hey, I mean, what else can you do, right? When you have 2 gals with the Metal Gray. So 13k is also great in security. Kills a lot of level 6s and belows when they swing into it, depending on what they're doing. Right, and the reboot is very useful as well. This card has just so much versatility. And the reason why I'm really excited to share this deck profile with you guys is I think this is just a perfect example of not to get pigeonholed into a level 6 or a certain like full style deck, right? You do not have to play Blackwargrey in order to fully enjoy the benefits of this card.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes with the tradition of the meta too, where like when that new Alphamon came out, I was like, no one's going to use this. But that Digivolve is so powerful that it's just made that card so good, just like Gaiomon. Like you don't have to use the Blackwargrey. That Digivolve to start your aggression is just so strong in this meta.
Absolutely. That is such a great point. Like this card is just so powerful on its own. And if you can be faster than your opponent in this OTK style meta with the Grandis, with the Alphamon shenanigans going on, right? We don't have to set up nearly as many Tamers. We can blitz for 3 checks as long as you have the Gao and the Master Tyranno, right? Yep. It can be so quick against your opponent where they don't even have time to respond and they've lost the game before they've set up their combo. So, but you know, sometimes you have to have something just in case. And for this deck, Death X. I'm playing 2 Death X.
Big bad boss.
Big bad boss. And for those of you who've been playing regularly at your locals, how tired are you of this card, right? So what's great about this deck is not only can I hard play it, if I really need to, I can Digivolve on top of the Gaiomon, just in case. But there's also another little trick for the deck. So let's get into our Tamers next, right? I'm playing 4 Makis.
So you can search it.
I can search the Death X with the Maki.
Yep.
It grabs any 2-color black. And that counts. It is purple and black.
Yeah.
So a lot of colors to this deck, a lot of fun, but there is a reason other than just being, you know, ridiculous with the colors. It actually has a full purpose. And I find myself with as much draw as this deck has and as much search as I have with the Maki, I don't need more than 3. If you guys play this deck and you guys find that you do need more than 3, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear you guys' take on this. So let's keep going into Tamers. I am playing 3 other Tamers, as a matter of fact. Maki, besides being just such a great searcher, reducing the cost by 1 to Digivolve into 2-color black, I am playing 3 ties. 3 ties, you might ask. Why tie? Well, what's great about this meta, or what should I say is not so great about this meta, is you do have your opponent who is running the same thing so many times with this Metal Greymon, where they can attack into your opponent's Digimon, right? With tie, Death X is a 16,000 DP body.
On your opponent's turn.
On your opponent's turn. Which makes it so they have an insanely hard time deleting off your Death X-mon.
Yeah.
Whether it's Wyvern's Breath, whether it's not their own Blackwargrey, their own Gao, whatever it may be to try to delete this.
How many times do you see your opponent just crash Death X's because they don't want to deal with them?
Exactly.
All the time.
Exactly. Yeah. They're just like, oh, I'll just trade you Death X's or whatever.
Yeah.
Just so they can get rid of your opponent's Death X and finally move on and to be able to start playing the game they want to play it, right? This tie has been so useful for me. Not only has it been useful for the Death X, it's also useful for when you finally get your Monochromon blocker if you just want to chill on a blocker, because he is black. It increases the DP of that as well. It also has the additional benefit of being a memory setter, which is so important. Right now, when you just need to have that 3 memory to really be able to make your moves.
Yep.
You might be able to argue, well, why don't you play Izzy? Izzy is a great card, don't get me wrong, and I do love Izzy in a lot of other decks, but this deck I've just found with all my testing that the tie is just so important.
And then stay tuned. We have a 2-hour video where we argue back and forth about the alt arts for that card.
Yeah.
Because I like the orange one, and
You like the orange one of that?
and he likes the black one.
It's a black card, guys. It needs to be black.
I need the foil. Give
I
me
know.
the shiny.
Bandai, if you're watching, give us a foil of this, please. All right, I have 3 cards left in the deck, and this is kind of your tech spot, guys. I personally, 3 Iron Fist and Onslaught.
Yep.
It's just such a great way to remove your opponent's Death X.
That's why you have it in there, really. I mean, come on.
You know, sometimes Alpha can, escape it if it's got the Doru Gray that, happens to be impervious to the effects of deletion. But, sometimes on turn 2 when it's not impervious, Iron Fist and Onslaught.
It's a good one.
Or if your opponent sets up a bunch of the same DP bodies that you can target with the Iron Fist, it's just such good removal that I really like the Iron Fist and Onslaught. And it's just such a fun way for me to play this deck. It allows me to have the ratios that I like while allowing me to have some good defense and security, some good options in hand. So
yeah, and like you said, that's a tech spot. And I think that, it really depends on what you're playing at your locals. If you see your opponent's playing a lot of smaller bodies at your locals, then you could always switch that out for Ultimate Flare and be equally, if not a little bit more threatening, depending on how wide their board state is. But at our locals, we just see so many big, tall stacks that card's just too good not to use.
All right, guys, here's the deck list. As you notice, a lot of colors, a lot of fun, right? So great way to play the Gaiomon if you're looking for something just a little bit different. If you don't necessarily want to use Blackwargrey, or if you're like me and just find that it's such a good level 6, it's okay to use it on its own. So if you like this, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. We love hearing back from you. We want to hear what you guys want to see in future videos. And stay tuned. We're going to have some great gameplay of this coming up soon.
Absolutely. Check it out.
Thanks. Bye.